Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is 10:16 a.m. and I just finished my workout. It was great. It was before 1:30 today. Yay! It was kind of a busy morning as always, just getting up, getting Eli off to school and taking care of Ellie, getting her fed and kind of in a happy place, started some laundry. Did a bunch of mommy duties this morning. Fooled around with a little YouTube channel art, but we'll see. Nothing really inspiring quite yet, so I will come back to it probably later today. But it was great. I did ab intervals today with T25, and that was a really good workout. I mean, I love working my abs just because it's something that I still continue to focus on since I had my daughter, that it's just always a good way to come back. The one thing that I really did kind of think about again a lot today was all the things I couldn't do right after my C-section when I was doing Insanity, and even some of it continued into T25 6 months later. So just kind of wanted to touch on those. At the very beginning, you start out doing the child's pose. Well, guess what? After you've just had your stomach sliced open and delivered a child via that way, folding in half is not a position that is comfortable. Now, and before I had her, child's pose was awesome. I loved going in that position, but right after, it took me about a month, maybe a month and a half into Insanity to be able to even get into that position comfortably and not feel like I was just, irritating this new opening that I had on my stomach. So anyways, that was something that was definitely a big deal for me. And watching today throughout the workout, which was great and fabulous, I did pay attention a little bit to the modifier again, just kind of keeping note of these things for you guys. If you're going through what I went through 19 months ago, and my son's 6 years before that. So that was C-section number 2 for me. But definitely, even the modifier, there's a lot of things I couldn't do at the beginning when I first started working out after I had her. There was so many different things that I remember stopping in the middle and thinking I couldn't even think of a modified version of what they were doing. A lot of it I was able to on my own, but even watching the modifier today, some of it was things I couldn't do. That I remember laying on my back because I didn't want to stop the workout. I didn't want to skip over the ab workout because that's something I did want to build. So I would get on my back and I YouTubed a bunch of postpartum, post-C-section abdominal building little exercises I could do, and I focused on my trans-abdominal muscles while they were doing things that maybe I couldn't personally do quite yet. I still thought it was important for me to work on building that strength, that inner strength again in my abdominals. So I would just literally get on my back and focus on pulling my belly button into my back or just doing little hip raise things that I saw from people who, were definitely certified in the training, just because I'm not, I'm not a doctor. I'm not certified to give you advice on what will work for you after you just had a C-section. You definitely want to consult your physician. You definitely want to make sure that you are cautious in doing these things. I don't know what could happen. I remember feeling myself that my stomach could rip open. That's what I was worried about. So I always was very cautious. And definitely one thing you can do is listen to your body. If your body is saying that move is not comfortable, now there's a difference between pushing yourself motivation-wise and pushing past a point where you can progress. But then there's also a point where you could do damage to your body, and you don't want to do that. So definitely listen to what your body is telling you. Even 19 months later, 18 months, whatever it was, after I had her and after I had started really rebuilding my core, I still, if something is not feeling right that day, I lay off. I maybe modify it down a little bit, or I'll do something different. But I try to stick as close as I can now to what they're doing on the screen. But like I said, there are days that maybe something doesn't feel right and I'm not going to push it. It's not worth it to me. So just keep those things in mind. Slowly you will. Like I said, slowly you'll build. You will be able to plank. You'll be able to child's pose again. You'll be able to go in downward dog position comfortably. All the things. You'll be able to lift your legs, lift your knees up. So you won't feel all that tension. It will go away. At least it should. It did for me. It took almost 3 years for all of that to go away after I had my first C-section. It was emergency C-section with my son. But I didn't, although I lost the weight very quickly, And I worked out, but I didn't really focus as much on building that inner core, which this time around I was so determined to do that. My screen keeps going black. I need to figure out what's going on. I think it hits about 5 minutes. Anyways, I need to focus. This time around with my daughter, I wanted to focus on rebuilding that inner core so I could recover quicker. You know, I mean, I recovered. I was up doing things. I was living my everyday life. But I remember if my son would bump my stomach, it would be a little tender still, even 3 years later. Just a little. Nothing like dramatically, but anyways, with my daughter, I did not want to experience that. I was determined not to because I wanted a VBAC. I wanted to not have to give birth this way again, but it was the safest method to get her, especially when all the complications arose and we thought we had a 50-50 chance of Down syndrome. So when she was born, she was diagnosed with it. After birth, I was so glad I made that choice. That was the best way to bring her here safe. But I still have the option of choosing to recover faster than I did my first round. And I did. And it was fabulous to feel the difference in, you can punch me in the gut right now and I don't feel a twinge. You know, my inner core is really strong. I'm still working, trying to find where my six-pack is. My stomach is pretty flat, but I'm still missing my six-pack. So maybe some of that, I need to tighten my nutrition a little more. Maybe. There's things you can do. But anyways, ab intervals was great today. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I hope to check back with you later to go into detail with some business things. But this mama is going to go clean the house that I had planned on doing on Monday. And now we're almost to the weekend, but there's still a lot of things that needs to be done that has been kind of put off. So I am checking out. I am going to go take care of mommy housewife duties right now. And we'll see. We'll see what comes later on today. All right, you guys have a great afternoon.